The Highland Hills tower, the skies, but the shadows they cast draw the spirits near. After all, tomorrow.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back again this Friday night. Last Friday night, we were doing the quiz that we terribly lost, But it was all fun. I would just like to give a shout out to Jenny. She's aware in investigation. Stay safe. She's at a private residence, but I can't tell you any more than that. So stay safe. We are joined tonight by my co-host Drew down here, and we're also joined by a special guest, Sherry from PWI.
Should it be the other way round? Drew's up there and me down there.
I can actually wait a minute. I can do
I'm
that.
dizzy. Don't move me. I'm dizzy. Go lie down. Good girl. Up there.
I think it'll move. Wait, no.
I like being in the bottom. I don't feel so important then.
Do you know, ladies and gentlemen? Before we're a little bit late because we were talking about magical instruments.
Oh, yes.
And they were staring at me. The two of them were staring at me like that, and they're like that. They're like that to me. You'll end up in a jar. So,
yeah, he's had his warning.
Yeah,
I've had my warning, but I'll put it aside. There you go. It's aside. I'll put a bit of paper on it, wrap it up after, and that'll be yours. Aside.
Yeah, put a message above it. Do not sell it, as Sherry will put me in a jar.
Well, saying that, I've got 10 of them left. I mean, obviously you're the second customer. I mean, I've got 10 of them left, but I know that Drew has got an eye on the 800-year-old oak. Haven't you, Drew?
Yeah. I don't blame her.
I mean, that's a nice one, I must admit.
They're amazing wands, guys. Really, like if you're looking for wands, and I go to Chris, definitely.
All of Scottish trees.
Yeah, and you know that the Scottish have got lots of energy and power up there, so you're gonna have a good wand.
Or you could have this one for crossing spirits. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm caught between the two.
Well,
yeah.
I could probably do a package deal for both.
Oh my goodness! This man needs to sell cars.
I know. Oh no, my car's still at the MOT place. I get my car back tomorrow.
Good.
It was away getting 3 tires, 2 drop links, the back wheel arches rust sorted on them, and new brakes. See that high pitch squealing? Look what we're getting. That's what was causing that. I went into the garage tonight. His name is He's probably watching this tonight.
Do the bagpipes invite the spirits? But I'm sure if there's a spirit that knows the bagpipes, I'm sure it would be attracted to the sound.
Yeah, definitely would be. Yeah, would so.
That's actually an interesting.
There's a lot of pipers in my town. Is there a lot of pipers in your town, Chris?
There is actually. There's a young girl, well, she's not young anymore. She stays down the road, and she's actually she does that thing with the world championship for the bagpipes.
Right.
Go to New York City and the march through New York City. But we're actually tonight, guys, we're going to be talking about spirits and all that. But also, could you please go and subscribe to Sherry's channel? And
PWI.
we're going to be talking about PWI, and we're going to be talking about the mystical world of magic and goblins and strange things.
Ooh. All the unknowns.
So I'm just going to get your channel link and post it in the chat for you there, Sherry. If anybody else would like to post their links in the chat,
welcome in, everybody. We have got all the witchy sisters in the room, I do believe.
We have sisters and brothers.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Ironfire. Welcome in, Stephanie. Welcome in, Mystical.
Hello.
Welcome in, Luna.
Hey, Mystical. Good to see you.
Everybody. Hi, Dobby.
There's Dobby Socks. She was the first person that's ever bought a wand.
Do you know Dobby was my first customer as well? In my shop, Dobby was my first customer as well. Yes, she was.
So it's good when they do that, like especially when you see
Lucy's wife. Yeah.
honestly, guys, when you buy like products like that, wands and stuff like that, you want to go to Drew's shop too, because she sells all like the potions and strange things that you make. You know,
I'll
you
get
know,
you
I've
some.
kept you all the wood shavings. I've kept you all the wood shavings for
Did
my
you keep them
wands.
for me? Yes, good
I've got a
stuff.
bucket of wood shavings. What are you going to do with a bucket full of wood shavings? Out of curiosity.
Well, you're using the energy out the wand for magic. The energy in the shavings is just as good. I can use that for spell work. I'll dry it all out and I'll put it in a jar. And then I'll use it for spell work and I'll use it for pouches and things.
I've actually
It's a very spiritual tool to use in a lot of spell work. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've
Even
actually
the bark off the trees
Yeah.
and things is powerful.
I even use bark when I actually do my house investigations. I'll put my like sages and that onto it because it brings the energy in more and things like that. Like
that's a good question. That's a good question. Actually, do you know your trees, Sherry?
I'm
know your trees?
I'm not brilliant with trees, but I know like my basic ones, like my willow, my oak.
How do you tell the difference between an oak and a dogwood?
Oh my god, I wouldn't say I know it to that extent.
It's easy. It's by the bark.
Yeah.
Do you know get it? A dogwood, a
Woof,
bark.
woof.
Drew fell for it the other day there when we were going to the crystal shop.
Me and jokes don't go together, so I wouldn't have got it at all.
I didn't get it either, Todd. I laughed and I was like,
I just would like to say
a dog.
I just like to say to you that a shout out in the chat for Stephanie. Because
yes, I hope everybody's okay.
They weren't very well, so you're still in our prayers. I hope everybody gets better soon. So
I have been doing candles and that for you, sweetheart.
Yeah.
So, Sherry, could you tell us a wee bit about your channel and the things that you do on there?
Okay. So obviously I'm Sherry. Witch name's known as Willow. As shaman name is known as Red Wolf. Now, obviously, my channel is to do with anything strange and unknown, spiritual, or anything like that. So I look into things to do with like the paranormal. I work with spirits. I have abilities. I also am into the UFO side, but I've kind of swayed that to the side a little bit at the minute. I'm really focusing on my paranormal and my shop. I also do a lot of uplifting streams where I do music and I do meditation. I do things to try and benefit and help others. I've just done one today, actually. So I do a lot of things on my channel, but I like to be busy and I like to keep people's minds going. So a lot of my work is around my witchcraft and around my paranormal work and my spirituality and things.
Yeah.
I think you've got a good channel for when people's at that stage where they decide, right, okay, I'm kind of stuck in life. What do I do? Where do I go? Sherry's got a good channel for people that's kind of lost because she does like music streams and will do meditations, but she also does the music. She does like she plays her own drum. She'll do her own tambourine and things. So you kind of focused in on it and it helps you with your meditation and it also helps you relax.
I've got other things as well now because I've got my tongue drums as well, which is a higher vibration of instruments, so it's really good as well. I did use it a bit in my show today.
I seen that.
I am really good if you're lost and you're trying to find your pathway, but I'm also really good at talking to as well. I've got quite a lot of knowledge, so I could help you to,
it's good for if you need to kind of maybe just relax for an hour or two and find your head. Maybe you've had a really busy day or something. It's just like that type of channel. And then she does her paranormal and things as well. So
like my magic side of me, like yes, I do my spells, I do my crafting and all things like that. But I do find that through my music and my dance, I really, really connect to people, and people can really feel the energy from that, especially when I'm playing my drums and stuff.
Yeah,
definitely, you can feel that completely.
I must admit your channel's awfully good for meditation too, because I do a lot of meditation, as everybody does know.
I've started up a session. I've actually started up a series of sessions on my channel where I do meditation, and it's not where I go live. I pre-record my shows and I play the music, and I have a number of pictures that come up to like help you to zone into what you're doing. But I just do like basic talking over it, telling them how to breathe in and breathe out and hold and I give them little influential words through the stream, like to help them to connect and to feel powerful. And I do find that side of doing my meditation is a lot better than when I do it live. Because I find when I meditated, when I was doing it live, you get sidetracked by the chat, or you get sidetracked by something that somebody's doing. Where if you're doing it pre-recorded, you're not, and you can just be like, go with the flow, and people watch it after. So.
I will say this, guys, you do need to watch Sherry's channel, and because sometimes strange things happen.
Yes.
Because there's been a few times when I've been on her show and she's been on her shows, and there was that fairy incident. Well, if it was a fairy,
they're still around.
They're still
around. They made themselves known to a friend of mine the other day. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
they're there.
There's Emerald Isles Paranoia.
Welcome in, Jen. Or maybe it's Lulu. Jen or Lulu. Hi.
Jen, Lulu. They're actually doing an investigation now at a house, so be safe out there.
Yes,
Jenny,
be safe.
and the rest of the team.
And Jen.
Yeah, be safe. I hope you've got your protection pouches or oils with you.
Yep. The person to buy.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a channel where you just want to be able to chill and listen to meditation and be sat in the room with other people and that, then you come over to mine, and don't ever hesitate to ask if you're not sure about something. I'm quite happy to talk to you.
Definitely.
Because you do tarot card readings too.
I do.
Along with Drew and Danny.
I do a number of different tarot card readings, but I'm actually now starting to look into doing charm readings, dice readings, and rune, dice, and charm readings as well. I'm going to be starting up.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to try that. What's that? And I've always wanted actually Drew. What's that thing that is it runes? It's like wee squares that look like dices.
Yeah, the runes. Yeah, they're nice. I've got a set. I don't know if my runes are
I've got one right next to me somewhere. I don't know. Hang on a minute.
What's it you do? You put them all in like a bowl or something and roll them about, and they tell your future. You know. So everybody in the chat, welcome. We get 12 people watching us. They're running about looking for their runes, ladies and gentlemen. If you wonder,
the runes are upstairs, guys. Sherry will find hers. Runes are a bit upstairs.
There's Dobby's sock. I've had runes readings. It's really good. It's something I've always wanted to experience because I've obviously with Danny and you, Sherry, and you, Drew. You've gave me tarot card readings. Aye, that's them. That's them.
Yeah.
What do they
They're the circle ones, but then the ones that Chris is actually on about, the more squared shaped ones, are the actual.
Oh, they're the Nordic ones.
They're the Nordic witch ones. So they're these ones.
So what do they mean? What's the symbols mean?
That's something I'm still learning. Like my runes are something that I'm just getting into. They're all like representations. They're a bit like doing your card readings. They represent different meanings and symbols and things like that. So
things like peace, just things like that. They kind of represent,
like feminine.
You can do it as a story.
Star, moons, like all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Because I've seen, obviously, you get the films, like the witchcrafty kind of films, and it's not really true to life, but you see them with bones too.
Oh no, you can definitely, Mystical does the bones.
Yeah, you can.
Mystical, you'll need to give me a reading with the bones.
Yeah, Mystical does the bones. Book it through Etsy. You can book it through Etsy, guys. Go on to Mystical Love and Light, Etsy, and you can book a reading.
Pick up and do some sort of reading with, you know what I mean? Like you can do it with stones, you can do it with crystals. There's all sorts of things that you can do readings on. You've just got to know the symbolization, the colours, meanings, and things like that. You've just got to do a bit of research if you don't really know.
Have you got a little bowl in your house that's got little knickknacks in it, such as maybe an old key, maybe something that one of the kids have left or something? If you've got a little knick-knack bowl, that is what that is. Because each of those things that you have found, used, don't use anymore, that all has a place in your mind and in your heart. And the feeling that you get from that, if you bring out, say, a dummy tit that was your grandkids or something, for example, then that represents like family, joy, maybe a baby coming. Understand? So that is why you
like
do knickknacks.
And it's the same with like when you're doing your charm readings as well. They all represent different things. Like for reading.
Most people have a bowl of things lying around their home that's maybe an old key. Most people have. Go into it and remember the memory, and you can read to people by throwing it all out.
You don't have to go out and buy things either. You can, if you've got lots of things like earrings and anything like that, you can use them as like things for reading. They all have a representation spiritually. And
what's that?
Osteomancy. That's what it's called.
I've heard about that. What is that again? What is osteomancy about again? What is that?
That's the bone
right.
reading.
So that's that, right? Mystical, if you want, please drop your link in the chat where people can go and get readings and stuff like that for you, because it'll help you.
Go, Iron. Go into your little junk bowls and pick out memories from them, things that mean something, and then put them in a bag, and then you can offer people the bag and pick something out, and you can give them a reading by your memory of that thing.
That's actually quite clever. It's kind of like the future readings with tea in it, because they can use the tea leaves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Much like that. All divination.
You can do your tea leaf readings. You can do palm readings. There's all sorts of readings that you can do. It's like having the knowledge. Like, I'm going to be the first to say that I don't know everything. You know, there's things that I've not looked into, and I'm starting to do now. But, you know, you just go with the flow and you just learn.
I don't think anybody ever knows anything, really. I don't think we're meant to know everything, you know.
When you go in and you do like all your research and you see certain representations for things, sometimes what they tell you it represents, you feel something different with that. So you kind of just go with what you feel from that object, what you see.
Yeah, that time.
So
it's the same with tarot readings. I can pull a card for somebody and say it's the 10 of spades, the 10 of wands. I can pull that for somebody else right after it, and it won't mean the same thing, because it all depends on the energy I feel, but the energy my guides feel for their guides, and then the energy I get out the cards from that person, you know.
I don't know if they're doing readings tonight, Christopher, but if you go to like Drew's channel or My Mystical's channel or Sherry's channel when they're live, because you did it, didn't you, Drew? You go live quite right, and you did readings. So go to their channels. Please post your links in the chat, guys, so people can click on
it. I'll give them a reading if you want. So I just need to jump upstairs and get my cards.
Because it's.
But I'll do it. Or unless you want to do it after the stream, even get me on Messenger if you want, Christopher. I'm on Facebook.
You're better contacting Drew through Messenger, because then it's more private and it's more.
Yeah. You never know what's going to come out. That's what I tell everybody. It's okay doing it live, but if there is a problem I see, it's not fair to air it in front of everybody. So I wouldn't tell you probably anything that you would maybe need to know that's serious.
Yeah.
Well, I would probably have to mail you after it and say, by the way, I've seen this or seen that. I wouldn't tell you live. I've had to do it before.
If you go to Go Squad Scotland Network, you will find Indrina in there, Drew in there. Just click on her name and Messenger that way. If you want to talk to Sherry, do the same. Or My Mystical, she's in there too. You can.
Yeah, for in-depth readings, it's better to go private.
Yeah, for sure.
I do a lot of readings online. I don't mind doing that, but like she said, sometimes you can get a really strong one, and then I have to go. I can't really read everything that this is showing.
I've had to mail a few people after I've done it. I've done a few readings on live, and I've had to mail the people after it and say, I did see your relationship. You have to put a bit more work in things.
I don't necessarily need cards either to do readings on you. I can actually look at you, and I will be able to read you. I've done it on a show where certain sisters were doing, I think it was Sister Drew and another person were doing their readings and doing their cards, and then I was like picking up on what I was feeling from the person without even picking up, you know. So I do that as well. When I've done that the other day, and I spooked out a couple of people I'd never met before. They were in their garden, and I was with a friend, and we've gone back to their place, and these women were sitting there, and they see us, and like they were like, because obviously this person never has a friend come round or anything.
Yeah.
And when I went back out to take the rubbish out from the food, they collared me because they see my necklace, and they were like, "Oh, so what do you do?" Like I said, I'm a witch, and like I see and talk to spirit and that. And they were like, "Is there anything you pick up from us?" And I read I read her and I picked up on her stepsister and how she died, things like that. And she was just like, she really creeped out, like she was freaking out, like. But I said, you asked me, so I'm telling you. And I said to her, like, if I don't know, and I can't pick it up, I'll tell you. I can't feed you. Sorry, I can't get anything from you. You know what I mean? But I did with these girls. They were like, oh my God, like, never met me in my life. Never met them.
I will say this. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Wicca the night. I mean, the Wicca really amazes me. See some of the stuff that you guys honestly do. I mean, I don't understand it. Half the stuff. I mean, look, Drew to the crystal shop, all the like vials and potion bags and stuff like that. I was amazed. I was like, the time and effort that went into each one of them.
Oh yeah.
And then I watch your channels. Sherry, and you're doing
Thanks,
your
sis.
rituals, and you're doing your rituals, and you're doing all these kind of things. And there's so much concentration in it. There's just so much. I mean, it is an art in a way. It is an art.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
is an art, yeah.
You've got to
And
be dedicated.
it's not just the making stuff either, it's the prepping and running up to that time of doing it. Like, you've got to be able to like cleanse, bless, and do things to yourself. Then you have to clean all of your altar down, all your tools. Then you've got
to make sure you're in the right frame of mind and things as well.
And charge them and enchant them. You know, this takes days to do. You know, when you come to us and you ask for a spell and it's there, that spell would have took us 4 or 5 days to make and to do. You know what I mean? It's not just something that's done there and then whack sorted. There's a lot that has to be done. So
all my oils I make from scratch as well. I mean, all my oils originate from herbs, and then I make all the oils from scratch. So each of the oil, and I breathe into every single oil I get, I enchant it, and I also breathe into it and put my breath and my energy in. So each of them have got to be when you're in a certain frame of mind. You can't just take it for granted, like, okay, I've got a bit of a sore head, I'll just go do it anyway. You can't do that because you're giving your heart and your soul and your energy to that product. So you've got to be 100%.
Yeah,
so
energy most definitely is your big key in your workings and stuff. Like Sis is saying, if you're unwell or you're miserable, there's no point in you trying to do the workings around that time, because it affects what you're making, which is not good for the customer. So
aye, because a negative emotions or energy and stuff like that. So if you're making something, you're thinking positively, you're thinking about nice things and that. But then if you have a fight with somebody, or you fell out with somebody and you're pissed off and you're really pissed off, right, I'm going to go and make some pouches up, that may have a negative effect to the person that buys that pouch.
Yeah, because that energy that you're bringing off of you, because what you've got to remember is when you're enchanting that pouch, it's not just going to get enchanted by you putting it in a window and charging it up. It has to be our intentions and our feel and things like that.
It's just herbs otherwise.
Touch, all of that, we can make it go wrong if we're not in a good place. You know, so
I must admit, Drew gave me one for my car, and you know, it's the best air freshener I've ever had.
Like it's
a protection,
you know, when you're living near a witch, because the witches' houses, they just smell divine. Like people that knock at my door, I'll open my door and they'll be like, "Carl, what's that?"
I get it as well with delivery men.
It's like it's my herbs and my incense and other bits that I'm using, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's so pretty."
Hi, Kirsty.
Hey, Kirsty. But it's honestly the smell is quite amazing. I mean, that was a protection pouch that you gave me for your posting, and I put it down the side of the glove door. And it was actually quite funny because the guy that picked up my motor says, "There's a lovely smell inside your car."
I had somebody come up to me once and go, when you made the protection pouches, why do you make them so that they're so smelly and smell so nice? Well, because that smell's giving off a positive energy. It's not just what you're using, it's the smell, it's what's in it, it's the intention. Everything gives off positivity, and negative energies do not like that. They don't like anything that smells nice. Anything
love light in it.
They don't
anything like that at all.
Because any evil spirits, any evil spirits will smell that, or they'll
they'll be like, "Whoa, not going near you, go away." You know what I mean?
Especially the palo wood in it. They won't get near palo wood.
Aye, that's what the smell is. I bet that's what the smell is. Because I was up at Ken Glenbuck. Remember I taken you up there? I was sitting there smoking a cigar.
From what
And
I added up the
just-
trivia contest, it was the
it was the
it was
Emerald Isles,
Emerald. It was
the
Emerald that
one.
won.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
one.
they won.
But there'll
I
be a
think we
rematch.
got something like 72 and they got something like 84 or something, or
Yeah.
172
It
and
wasn't that far
184. Yeah, it wasn't
No.
too far.
Aye,
It wasn't that far off.
I will admit Emerald Isle done very,
They did
very,
win.
very well. But when Christmas comes and there's another season, do you know who I was going to ask Drew to be for the third team member? I was thinking, what do you think? Neil Story would be a good third team member.
But
I was
imagine having
minding
him on
Jenny.
the panel. I think nobody did have a chance getting past him with all of his knowledge.
Yeah, Kelly, depending where you are. If you're
Oh.
in the UK, I do them. If you're in the US, Mystical does them.
Yeah. So could you post your shop in? Can you post your shop, Drew, in the chat?
I
Because there'll
think
be some
Mystical
people.
did it.
I mean, that was that not our channel that
I
she
don't know if
posted?
she's in the UK or the US. I can't post to the US, but Mystical is in the US.
Christine?
I can post to Ireland, Scotland, England, Ireland, and Wales.
Yeah.
That's where I post to.
They're gonna when me with the ones, I had to
Yeah.
research it.
Talk to Mystical. Mystical, put your Etsy shop link up. Thank you,
stick it up.
Kayla.
Stick it up again, Mystical, because that's the United States. Because I noticed, see how you're using bark and wood. You have to
Uh-huh.
be very careful sending it to the United States.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
it could be seeds and there could be stuff in that.
Yeah,
you
you're
know.
not allowed. Mhm.
Colorado Springs, cool. Well, that'll be
Ooh,
Mystical's
from
territory.
there. That's nice.
Yeah, I bet it's nice there. So you also, Sherry, you also do the paganism. Can you tell us a wee bit of that? You don't see much of that anymore. You don't really see the people that do the paganism as much as they used to.
Paganism,
I would say pagans more. Would you not say pagans more than Wicca?
pagan and like Wicca are different. Like Wicca is more spiritual based, is known as like a religion, where paganism isn't known as a religion.
Yeah.
But paganism is more of an occult sort of religion. It's where a lot of people would normally come together and do a lot of workings together. Like there are people that do it individually and don't have anyone work with them. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't class myself as pagan. I wouldn't say that I'm fully fledged pagan. I just have some of the beliefs in paganism through what I've
I
learned.
think most people are doing that now, though. They're more mixed,
Yeah. Like I like paganism side, I do more of the nature side in that. I believe in the spirituality and the gods, the goddesses and things that would reside with the paganism side. So in that way I do that work, but like spiritually, like going to a cove or being in some sort of like group of people, I don't do that. I don't like that side of it. Like they have some strange beliefs and things that they follow, and I'm not comfortable with that sort of thing.
What's the difference between a pagan, and this is not a joke, by the way, that was an actual question. What's the difference between a pagan and a druid? Because you get druidism, and then you get paganism.
Druidism and things. Well, there again, it's your spirituality. It's all their beliefs. Most of them, it's the belief system of them. You would really need to see. That's the thing. Each of them have got qualities that's good, that I see is good, a good quality. But also, some of them have got things that I don't fully believe in, much like Sister Sherry. So
yeah, like
it's a bit each for me.
For me, paganism and druidism, what separates them is paganism, like I said, to a lot of us, we do see it as a religion, even though it's not classed as a religion, and people will have a certain way that they follow and certain rules that they follow. Where I find that with druidism, shamanism, anything like that, it's more of a spirit-free sort of religion. It's very nature-orientated. It's very elemental and nature
The
spirit.
druid is very back to basic.
You know what I mean? It's a little bit different to doing your paganism. And it's all, and a lot of it represents around medicines and animal worship. A lot of it is animal worship in druidism and shamanism.
I was away somewhere one day and there was a standing stones near. There's actually standing stones near me. I'll need to take you there one day.
Aye.
And there was actually these people, and they were doing a weird ceremony. and they were all in white gowns.
Right, that'd
And I
be a
was talking to
druid.
one of the guys. I was talking to a guy, and I says to him, I says, "What you doing?" He says, "Oh, we're druids, and we're doing our rituals."
Yeah, they do. They wear white, and some
They're
of
Aye.
them,
very like
some of them wear white, and some
worship
of them
the
will wear
ancients.
blue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have
Yeah.
I have like a royal blue that represents my my druid side, because I'm a Celtic druid shaman.
Yeah.
So in
Yeah.
practice, so I have a blue dress that I wear, and I represent for that, because you'll find a lot of the males will wear like the white, or they'll wear
Mhm.
like a white with the gold, or a white with a
Aye,
black trim,
yeah.
and then the females are more of the colourful
Mhm.
representation.
Yeah.
of that. So they'll wear things like blues and purples and things like that.
Aye, because when I
You know,
seen them, the men were like the beards, quite long beards at that,
yeah,
and they're all braided, and they were all braided. But I noticed that with the men, with the women, their clothes were a wee bit more colourful, and they had like flowers in their head and hair
yeah,
and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're very back to
yeah.
basic in the way the world
I was
works and
dancing about nothing.
worshipping
I'm
the
sitting there
gods.
smoking a cigar, watching them.
I take a wee bit from everything, I do believe,
Yeah.
because
Paganism is based in nature, Dobbies. It
yeah,
is,
it's definitely
but
based in
it is a
nature.
completely different religion to what Druidism and that. The
No.
paganism has like rules and ways to follow, where where Druidism is more free
Yeah.
and being yourself, sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't believe in rules. I don't believe there should be any rules. That's why when the online coven that we've got, we call our clan, because
Yes.
it's not really a coven. None of us rule over each other. We're all equal. We just basically share all our
How
knowledge
many?
and be there
That's
as a
why I'm
group
not
for each
part of
other.
that's why I'm not part of covens in these
Yeah,
things like the
yeah,
paganism and that, because that they do have a higher energy of person that rules over you, and it's
yeah. You've
that
got to.
person you have to reside in and go to. And in some situations, um, you're even known to have to give yourself
Yeah, you've
to
got to
that
get permission.
person
Get permission
and
Yeah.
from
things
them
like
and
that.
things to
No,
do your
I'm not
magic.
into all of that.
How many's in your coven now, Drew? Sherry, how many's in?
I think we've got 12, haven't we? It was
There's
Wow.
about
12 the
12.
last
There's
time I
about 12 of
counted.
us. Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
it was only like 40 years or something like
I
that. I was like,
know.
No, 12.
I know.
"Ooh."
It's
And
12.
you know, it's growing each day, but like
Yeah.
Sister Drew said, we're not like a coven where we see one person as a master and the rest are underneath. We all see each other
We're
as
all
equal. We've
equal.
all got our qualities in that group, and
Yeah.
we all work together for that basis, and we gel together really well in our
Yeah.
spirit works and rituals.
Got a
And
Great.
question for Sherry, and then I'll kind of come to you, Drew, about this one too. Sherry, if there's any young people, young ladies that are thinking about getting into the kind of paganism or getting into the kind of Wicca, what do you suggest to them to do? And then up Drew after this one.
Goodness.
like for me, like if you're thinking of coming into a faith, remember that if you're wanting to be a witch, you don't have to be a pagan or be a Wiccan to be a witch. Okay, so don't go looking for that religion if that's why you're doing it. Okay, paganism and Wiccan are in their own energy, you know, that they're
Yeah.
not to do with witchcraft or anything like that. They're all to do with worshipping of nature, worshipping of spirit and of animal and other things. So if you're really into that and you want to go into the Wiccan and the pagan, do a lot of research, look into some groups and some places that maybe you can join up with if that's what you're wanting to do, or go naturally. For me, as somebody that started out being pagan, I would say don't go for a religion based way. Be yourself, find yourself first, and look at many different areas and places that you can go off, because there's so many
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
different faiths and religions you can be involved in that are
Yeah.
witches, you know what I mean? So don't just be quick to jump and go, well, pagan and Wiccan is the most known. No, there's many things that you can look into that can relate you to becoming a witch or anything like that. Don't go for it if you are looking to become a witch, okay? Because paganism and Wiccan is nothing to do with witches, okay? There are witches in that, but they are not witches the way that we are.
Yeah.
No, I've done it naturally. I've never been under a coven apart from Sister Drew, obviously.
Yeah, it's only it's a clan though we've got. It's not really a
I've
coven.
never been part of any of that sort of thing, and I've never wanted to because I've never felt it comfortable. So just be you. Know what you want to do. If you're going to come into this faith and if you're going to do this sort of work, then know that you've got to be dedicated to it. It's not something that you can take up and then decide to walk away from. It's not going to happen, and you will get effects from doing that. So you really do need to think before you go into it. And
Drew, thank you, Sherry.
I would just say read everything. Anything that you're go meditate for a start, or go to your happy place in your mind and really see what path you want to go down. I got into witchcraft, I thought, for ghost hunting, but it turned out I was a witch all along. It's just that it came out through that. So I would say read everything. Follow a couple of people on YouTube and things. Have a look what's on there. And then do what you feel after you've done a bit of studying. You know, but read a lot of things, read different things. And you don't have to go out and buy loads of books. Do it online even. Have a read it this Druidism, have a read it paganism, anything you want. Just have a read at it and see where you want to go from there. And do some shadow work as well, which is where you're coming to a place in your mind that you're not using it as an escape route for something, that you are doing it because you want it to be a way of life. You're not doing it because you think it's going to save you. You do it because you'll find with the minute that you start it that you have had it in you all along. It'll be down to the way you stir your tea. It'll be down to the way you do certain things. Each of us have a ritual. I had a ritual for going out my door that I'd done that I didn't even realise was witchcraft. That was going out your door backwards. You know, things like that to leave the positive energy in your house.
And you don't
You'll
realise
find that it'll be there.
You don't realise that.
Yeah.
But then as you go, like Sister's saying, as you go through the practice, you'll go, hang on a minute. I've done this all my life. Like, how the hell is this witchcraft? It's in you. It's just you got to remember that. Like, we're all nature based. We are all connected to the universe. We all have the capability to communicate with it, to connect with it. It's finding yourself to do that, you know. And I agree as well, Dobbies. You know,
start with the god and the goddess.
Drew's got it's not a coven really. It's more of a clan. It's more.
We're definitely a clan. Yeah, we're a clan of sisters.
A coven is a very strict place. Okay, it's a place of rule. It's a place of worship. It's a place where you don't step out of line. You've got certain reads that you have to follow.
You've got to go and ask permission to do your magics and things
about certain things. You know, so you're not yourself in a coven. You're not yourself. You're kind of controlled in their sort of covens.
Yeah.
Compared to what me and like Sister Drew's got.
If you're just getting into this, my advice, if you're just getting into this, I don't dabble in that kind of stuff because it's just too complicated for me. I like making my wands and stuff like that.
It really is scared that we're put in a jar, guys.
I'm going to end up in a jar if I sell Sherry's one. But anyway,
thank you, Christopher, seen me with a jarred run.
Honestly, they've got me well trained, guys. Honestly, but what I'm saying is, that if you're young, maybe and you're wanting to become a witch, you're wanting to practice and work and stuff like that, please, for the love of God, go to Drew's channel or go to Sherry's channel first and watch it for a wee while and see if you're into that kind of thing. And don't think doing these things is going to let you contact Lucifer or anything like that, because there is people out there that say witches are bad, and believe me, because I did the ghost stuff and all that, I do get a lot of weird messages sent to me saying, "Oh, you're going to burn in the pits of hell for eternity," and I'm like, "All right, no problem, block."
I've had it. Like if you're somebody that's really been interested in the witchcraft side of it, but you're really scared of stepping into it because you're worried about how people are going to discriminate against you. That's one thing you've got to realise is you're always going to get somebody that discriminates against you because of what you're doing. But witches are just highly spiritual and, you know, highly knowledge people that are very connected to nature and to spirit world. We're not dangerous. We don't curse lands and do all this sort of stuff like people try to make up.
We're all love and light. Yeah, you know, most of us do it for the good.
Yeah, you know, doing the good of and the better.
you did a lot of good. I mean, because witches, they come into the factory with house cleansings and stuff like that to get evil spirits away. And that
Yeah.
thing that the two of you are doing, you did too, Sherry, didn't you? The crossing the spirits.
Yes, I do.
Is
I've been doing
that-
I've literally
aye.
been doing crossing spirits since I was like 18.
Aye.
So I've been doing it for a very long time. So
You think you're the trapped souls that are out there? Millions
Yeah.
of them, billions.
there
of them,
are
just wandering.
loads.
So
and
many.
loads. Hello, Evelyn. How are you, sweet?
Hey, Evelyn.
Yeah,
But if you want to see two amazing people crossing spirits over, go to Drew's channel and go to Shetty's channel, and you'll see them at work doing it. I mean, it's. I'm going to
Chris
say
was
this.
there when I crossed spirits over at
Aye.
the battlefield, weren't you?
That was weird. That I'm not really going to talk about it
Yeah,
because
go
I've seen
over,
something in my head.
go over
But
to me. Come over
Aye.
to Drew. You can go over
Yeah.
to Mystical. You can go over to Christina, Ghost Squad and
Yes.
Sons. They all do like crossings of spirits, and they're very good at it.
I
And a
will
lot
say
of the
this:
other ladies
be
in here as
prepared.
well.
I will say this: be prepared when you watch lives like that when they're crossing spirits, because you can feel it. You can actually feel the energy change.
You
Yeah,
can,
you feel
and
it.
also the emotion. If you're somebody that's thinking of going in and learning how to do that, just be prepared that you will feel the emotion of when the spirits come into communication with you, and that even if you're
Yeah,
not
you
open,
feel it.
you'll feel it. You'll know.
Yeah, and it's sad when you feel them go. There's a wave of sadness comes over you and a wave of joy. It's a
It
mixed
makes the
emotion.
heart flutter, and it makes like I always like well up and start crying after I've done it
Yeah,
because
me
it's so
too.
overwhelming. But at the same time, it's such a remarkable feeling to know
I mean-
that you've helped those souls after all that time of them waiting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It does.
Look at my
help.
mystical love and light there. It's crossed between 7,000 and 8,000 on Sunday. My God.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been. It's not little groups. We're not like
It's not like
just
2 or
5 or
something
6
like that.
spirits.
Yeah.
We're doing 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,000 spirits at a time, depending on what
Yeah,
they're
depends on
wanting.
how much it's actually our spirit guides that go and get the souls to come to them, so they bring them to us. We maybe go to look. That's why I do mine on a Sunday. It's because Christopher and I usually go out ghost hunting on a Sunday, and
Hopefully,
I
we'll
was
be doing it this
finding
Sunday.
that a lot of spirits were they weren't coming home with me, but I was finding when I turned the spirit box and things on that there was names and there was voices I didn't recognise. So through time, I realised that Billy, my spirit guide, and my cousin Stephen, my spirit guide, and little Maggie were bringing spirits to me to cross over. So now I do it on a Sunday afternoon because usually that's when they know that I'm at my peacefulness. Everything, my mind's rested, you know.
Yeah, I do
It's
think
like
that
a
they're
big house.
doing it, but I do think that they picked that up in you as well, because now that you do that, you've kind of got that energy and that light to you anyway. So spirits will
Yeah.
follow you anyway because you give that off, okay? And like a lot of people say,
Being a light.
it's our spirit guides that do the work. We still do the work as well because those spirit guides wouldn't be able to do what they do, and we wouldn't be able to do what we do if we didn't work together. So it's both of us bringing them over, but we can't physically walk into the spiritual realm and take them.
No.
So our guides
No,
have to do
yeah, our
that
guides bring
and
them.
open the doorway. We can't open the doorway; they have to do that. So
My
Yeah, they
mystical
come back
love
and
and light.
forward.
Yes, hopefully we are going because hopefully my car
Yeah.
will be ready.
Ooh,
What's this here? What's this?
new
What's
wheels.
this? I mean, there's what's this here? Christopher A. James. Jesus Christ, God is the only source.
Oh yeah, I believe that. Yeah, definitely. There's a God for everybody.
There's look. Everybody has got their own religion, right?
Yeah.
And we don't judge here. It doesn't matter what religion you are. I will say this: there is a creator. There's a creator that's created everything. And what I don't know if it's a man. The Bibles were written by men, so I don't think it's even a man. I think it's just an entity.
I don't believe
that
that it's a
created
man
everything.
at all.
Yeah, nah,
See,
I
because-
believe a
female and-
creator is the universe, is the
Yeah.
energy of the universe. That's what it is.
Everything is male energy and
Yeah.
female energy. Even
Yes.
with your gods, your goddesses, your weather, everything is male energy and
You have to
female
have
energy.
male and
Masculine,
you have to have
feminine.
male and feminine energy.
So heart,
Make it
everything
right.
in balance.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And I
I'm not
do
saying that
believe
he
there is
didn't
a creator of
exist.
some kind.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that God doesn't exist. I just don't believe that God exists in the way that a lot of people have been learned about him.
Yes,
You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So,
definitely.
I agree too.
God energy. Uh-huh.
yeah.
I believe that whoever made everything does exist. somewhere
yeah.
out there.
And I do
But
believe in Jesus as well. I would like to say, I mean, I do believe, and most witches will believe in Jesus. Yeah, I
Do you know?
believe that Jesus was a man who could
Do you know
heal,
what my
much
theory
like
on
us.
Jesus is?
what's that,
Okay,
Yeah,
Sherry?
right, and this is not disrespectful. Okay, I'm not mocking him. I'm not saying anything. Okay, I'm not saying he's not gone to the cross. I'm not saying any of this. Okay, but what I
yeah,
believe Jesus is, okay, I believe that he was a man that walked around in this world, had
Yes.
abilities in spirituality ways like us, was able to see this world in a different way. Okay,
yeah,
so back in those days, it would have been very rare to see that sort of thing, and people
yeah,
wouldn't have really followed it back in the days that he was supposed to exist. So to him, a lot of people looked at him as being spiritual and maybe being
Yeah.
a chosen one or a child of like the God above,
Yes.
when in fact
yeah,
he's just no different to us. And I believe that his sacrifice to the cross wasn't for our sins, because if it was for our sins, we would not have sins today. Okay. What I believe that God went to the cross for was because of what he believed in. Okay.
Yes.
Because
yeah.
they
They
made him
hung him.
choose between, I believe he was made to be chosen. He either chose his faith that he followed and he believed in, or he was to
Mm-hmm.
go the other way and be Christian. And I believe he was put to the cross because he wanted to be himself and because
Sure.
he see and knew the truth.
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe that.
And
Exactly.
over time, sacrificing himself and that, Jesus was given the name God and Son of God, and that he was chosen and things like that. When in fact he was no different to us. He just was able to do amazing things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
believe
You
that.
know, so
I'm going to say this and that. I'm not trying to piss anybody off in the kind of religion world here, but I'm going to say that the Bible is kind of like the game called telephone.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah,
It's been designed to control man, to control the
I
human
believe
race.
that. Yeah.
Because
yeah,
if you go back far enough to the olden days, women were like lower than men, and that's how it was. No, it's not like that. And
yeah, I know.
I do
It's all
believe there was a
control.
Jesus, yeah, and I think he was killed because of what he could do.
Yeah, like I said, I
Yeah.
do believe that's why he was killed. He was killed because he was
Yeah.
different and because he chose to keep to that path. He didn't want to be different and be forced into another religion that he didn't
Yeah,
believe in or he didn't
yeah,
understand. And you'll notice with the Bible, you can pick up 4 or 5 different Bibles and they all say different things. Okay, now
Oh
if
yeah.
this was the true word of God, wouldn't all words always be the same? What it is people's representations of what they believe they've seen
Yes.
and what they believe they've been touched by. Okay, and
yeah.
they've wrote that down and said that it's the way of God and things like that. I'm not mocking him. I'm not saying that he's not real. I'm not
Exactly,
saying that it's not
Christopher.
true. What I'm saying is I just don't believe in him in the way that the Bible tells his story. I don't believe that God formed this world in 7 days and 7 nights. I'm sorry, that did not happen. This took
No.
thousands of years to make this
Yeah.
system.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
You got to remember everything's control.
it
That's
is,
what
yeah,
it was designed for.
definitely.
The
Yeah.
minute
And
man took over and the colonies and things, it was all
yes,
control.
yes. If you to go back further enough to look at the angelic beings that came forward, like the angels and stuff, I mean, you could go down the realm of like elementals or stuff like that. There could be
Christopher,
these.
my sweetheart, right? I
Okay,
just
yeah.
want to put this across to you, okay? He was
Wait,
born by a virgin, okay?
all
So
right,
what
okay,
about
that.
all of these women and these people in this world that can't have kids? How comes they've not miraculously been given that virginity birth? They didn't have to have intercourse. They didn't have to do anything. They were just given this gift. Why is it that women that can't have children are not given this gift? How I don't understand how people can recall that she would have become pregnant just by the touch of God not
Yeah,
doing anything with her. It doesn't happen, because if that was the case, there would be a lot of women in this world now that can't have children that would have been touched and blessed in another way.
yeah. I think he's
That's
agreed
just
with
my
us
argument.
anyway.
That is my
Yeah,
argument. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but I
Yeah,
find it really hard to believe that it happened like that. You know what I mean? So
that's quite interesting there, Sherry. My mystical love and light. Chris, we crossed the spirits over on Sunday. There was a very large hellhound watching from the
yes.
tree
Wait to
line.
see the video. Wow, wait to see it.
See, that's actually interesting because Sherry, you've actually seen a hellhound, haven't
I
you?
have, yes.
Could
I
you tell
have.
us
I
all about
see
that?
one in the house. I was doing a house investigation and a little girl was feeding it. But when she was seeing it, she wasn't seeing it as a hellhound. She was seeing it as a normal dog. So she was feeding that and giving that energy and power. And when I got there, obviously, I could see what it really was. Hellhounds, there's a number of things for what they are. Some of them will seek out in like graveyards and they're under the gatekeepers and they keep watch over certain things. Some hellhounds are said to stand at the gates of hell and the doorways of crossing, because that they establish.
Don't annoy them. Leave them alone.
There's many reasons to why they're there, but they're not creatures to be messed around with. Don't play with them. Leave them well alone.
Yes, leave them alone.
I mean, I don't personally believe in hell. I believe that we're all here to learn, right? I believe when we go back, we'll have to sit through, is it a life review it's called?
Purgatory.
Purgatory. There is a heaven and hell, but it's not the way that it's been portrayed to be. Heaven and hell are both places of lesson, both places of finding yourselves, okay? Purgatory is the place that we all go to when we cross over.
I don't know, Kirsten.
Where we can establish where we went right or where we've gone wrong. We all have to go into purgatory to be able to see our life plan and what we went through and each life and things that we've had, to build our true self. So once we get to that purgatory, if we've done good, we're going to go to the good side. If we've done bad, we're going to go to the bad side. But that doesn't mean that you're in that bad place for eternity. It's just somewhere that you've got to go to find for your sins. It's a way to cleanse yourself, to bring yourself back and renew yourself. Once you've reached that place where you've understood what you've done, the light comes to get you. You do not stay there unless you're really bad and you've never learned through every life you've had. Then that's a bit different. You become their workers. You become their way. But a lot of
have you ever heard of a spirit who's maybe they died when they were 70 years of age and somebody has seen them and they're maybe looks 18? The reason behind that is when everybody dies, they get the choice to go back and visit memories. And if you had your best memory at the age of 18, most people will choose to be seen at that age because that's when they were at their happiness. So if you see your granny, for example, coming back to you looking young and refreshed, but you know that it's her, then the chances are that's because she's been and visited a memory at the age of 18 and she's chose to stay in that form to be seen. Because most spirits will get the choice to go back and visit bad memories and good memories. It's so that you learn the lessons in life. And each time you learn a lesson, you grow in spirit and you grow in eternal life, if you like. Everybody's got to learn different lessons. And if when you cross, if the powers that be think you've not learned those lessons, they will make you go back and revisit them so that you now have an understanding of what happened.
And that is what it is. That is what a lot of it is, and that's what the purgatory side of it. Like everyone said, like through their faiths and their beliefs, some people don't believe in purgatory, but the truth is we all go to purgatory. It don't matter what faith or religion you are.
You've got to go back.
Purgatory is not a bad place. Purgatory is a place of reflection. It's a place of going back and looking at yourself, and working out where you've gone wrong and what things you've done right, and then stepping forward. Because you can't go into the spiritual realm, you can't move on with life until you understand what your basis of this life was and what you need to be doing. Okay, that is why we're there. You know.
Remember, there's the knowledge that we choose to come back. So each person, if they are coming back, has a set of guidance and rules. But the minute that we get here, we forget all that. So we have a purpose of coming here. And if when you cross back over, if you've not fulfilled that purpose and that wish that you wanted in the first place, then that is why you have to visit purgatory, because that's what you wanted. So you have to understand where it went wrong and you have to learn that lesson.
It's a place of lesson. It's not a place of torture or bad things. Like everybody has an experience different there. It really depends on what you've done here, okay? But it's lesson, okay? And you go through those lessons.
So if you do bad, then you're visiting the bad.
Exactly.
That's
what I'm saying. It's different for everyone. Like If you've done
it's
bad
like-
things, then you're going to see what you've done badly, and you're going to live that, and you're going to see
you
that, and
feel
you're going
that
to see
hurt.
how it should have been, and how you should
Actually-
have been acting. You know.
I actually had a conversation with actually Lisa Fry about this, and you'll find this interesting. And I mentioned Hitler, right? Obviously,
Right.
Hitler with all the Jews, all the millions of Jews and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
But here's an interesting thing: what happens if, when he died, right, he has to come back and relive? What happens if he relives all the deaths as that person?
Well, he
So
would have to
he's-
revisit
yeah.
that. When
Yeah.
he crossed over, he would have to go feel all that hurt. And it could
Yeah.
take
Purgatory.
years upon years.
Thousands of years, yeah.
The place, the
What?
purgatory, like that, he would have been in purgatory. He would have seen every life that he took. He would feel
Yep.
everything that they felt. That is
And
what
the
purgatory
family's
is about.
pain
It's
as
about
well.
showing you what you've done. He'd have felt everything. He would have seen everything. He'd have seen every victim he's hurt. And I'm telling you, probably by the end of it, he'd have come out there crying and realised
Yeah.
how much of an evil person he really
Yeah.
was. You know what I mean? And if he didn't, he's gone to hell.
And the thing is, as
Guaranteed.
well, if anybody ever says that they contacted Hitler on a spirit box or something, that'll not be true, because
No.
he'll be there for loads of millions of years learning those lessons. So you probably won't ever hear of him again on this realm.
You wouldn't hear
Yeah.
him. You wouldn't hear from him in this time.
Yeah,
He's
no
got
chance.
thousands and thousands of years to do his
yeah.
work. You think how much he's done and how many innocent lives he killed? Like, there's
He's
going to be a
got to
lot of
relive
work he has to do.
every single soul he took and every single soul he hurt. He's got to go
Yeah.
through all that.
Mhm.
You've got to remember the soldiers fighting against his armies that
Yep.
died. He's going to have to relive their deaths.
And innocent people through the bombs and things.
You're very welcome. That's why it's good to have these shows, Kelly,
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
learn a lot of different things. Somebody did say to me, "What did the hellhound look like that I see?" Now, the hellhound that I came across, and I have noticed quite a lot of them, it was a very big and masculine looking dog, very muscular looking, and very like filled out. I would say him standing up against me from the floor, he would have come to my hip. That's how big he was. He was huge, and he had the most biggest head and the most reddest eyes that I've ever seen in my life. And when he snarled, his teeth, they're not like normal dog teeth. They were long,
Fine.
not a very attractive animal to look at. It's not an animal. It's a nasty creature, and
Yeah.
they're not nice to cross. Definitely not.
It makes you
Yeah,
wonder.
Phoenix has
It's
got
different
one in her
type.
basement. She told us in the clan.
I
She's
seen
got one
that.
in her basement. She does believe that it's protecting something in her basement.
Yes, that some of them are. Some of the hellhounds are here because they're protecting certain artifacts or certain
Yep.
things to do with the spiritual realm. It can be a doorway, it can be a portal, it can be anything they'd be protecting. You know, they're not always there to start with you or attack you. They're there doing their job. But if you cross them or you do something that upsets them, then you can be asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Some of them are known to sniff out places for negative energies as well. Some of the hellhounds work for like the negative energies, like the demonics and stuff. They'll sniff out certain places that these energies need to go to.
Yeah,
So
to
there's a lot
look.
of different jobs for what they do. There's a lot of reasons to why they're here.
Can you make protection stuff for all that kind of stuff? This is for you and Sherry. Can you make like pouches?
You
and
can.
that would
You can
Uncle
have like,
Danny taught us, and he's teaching us more.
yeah,
to do
like
things
there are
like that.
things you can put in place. Like you can never keep these energies away. They're free to roam where they want to roam. Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. Okay, but you can put
Right.
things in place to keep them at bay so that they're
Right.
not harassing you or being in your home. But 9 times out of 10, when people say like, oh, so like when you banish an energy or you get rid of an energy and you send it back, it doesn't mean that when you send it back it stays there permanently. It just means that
Yeah.
it moves to another place, another area, so that it's not
You're
affecting
just
you.
diverting it out
It's
your
just not
path.
hurting you. Yeah.
That's actually quite interesting you say that, because I was actually talking to Bishop. Remember with Bishop Brian on? Drew?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bishop Ryan was so good to interview.
And
It was
And-
interesting. I found him fascinating because he was going on about UFOs. You never hear a priest or anything
No,
like that, do you? So
we
really
actually had a
interesting.
conversation with him, And I was like, I says, see, when you get into an exorcism, I says, what happens to the demon? What happens to the demonic entity? And he says, oh, it just goes out the door. And I says, aye, but where does it go? Does it go back to hell? And he goes, oh no. He says it goes and looks for someone else that it can latch itself onto. So this is why
Sometimes
you
it
have to
hangs
be
around the
very
house
quick.
for a couple of months and tries to get back in. It just
Yeah.
really depends.
That's why,
Yeah,
like,
this-
when you do your cleansing and when you do your house blessings, when you do exorcism and stuff, you'll notice that after they've done that ritual, they will go around the house and cleanse the house. They'll put the salts, they'll put the blessing oils, they'll put all sorts of things down. Why do you think that is? Because when we banish and we remove these energies, we don't send them to the depths of hell. You can't do that. They go where they want to go.
Cover your
just send them
smell.
away. You send them away from that place. They're no longer condemned to that place. They've been banished out of that place, but that doesn't mean that they're not in this world still. They are. They just go somewhere else. That is what they do.
All you're really doing is masking the smell of your scent and then your family's scent and things, so that when you kind of push it out, if you like, your door,
basically passing the
it
problem on.
doesn't
That is
find
what we're
you again.
doing. We are basically passing the problem on. That is what we're doing. We're just moving. Like, if somebody comes up to you and goes, look, I've got this energy in my house, I need it removing. When we do that and we remove that, we put all that protective mode, the reason we do that is because we know that if we don't, that energy could easily come back, okay, if it wanted to. Okay, so we put those protection modes up for that reason.
Yeah, and you have to keep up with things that you tell you to
say
do.
to myself when I leave, why do you, if and I'm a good prime for it, because when I removed that energy from the house, that energy was waiting for me to come from that house, and that got hold of me for 4 months, and it nearly killed me with blood poisoning, with the crosses under my neck. It waited. It will wait. Sometimes they do. They'll wait. So you really do have to make sure that you keep yourself.
That's
you've got to do your prayers and things for a good month or two before you think that you're fully cleansed. And it is a process. It's not like the television.
That bishop guy was telling us that he's been followed home a few times.
Yeah.
They wait for him outside his house. They wait for him. They can't get into his house because obviously he's blessed and get protection and stuff. But it's the same for Danny too, isn't it? The wait outside. They sit outside and wait.
That's what happened to me. That's what happened to me. I had five energies that I got from the house, and the main one was the most trickiest, and he was really, really horrible, and he was the main master of them all. And
guys, go to Sherry's channel and you'll hear it gravel in a shot.
And, what happened is I was sitting on a panel with a friend, and she goes, "What the hell's going on with your neck, Sherry?" And I said, "What are you on about?" And I turned and I looked, and you could see something scratching an upside down cross into my neck. This is before I went up to get him. Okay. So all of this was happening to me. I'd been attacked because I'd been on video call with this person. They hadn't been completely honest with what was going on in the house, but I found that out going there. And when I went up there and got rid of the energy, obviously he was peed off because I got him out of the house. He didn't want to leave, and he attached to me, and he done things to me. But that was because people weren't honest with me in the beginning. And it was only when me and Nora picked up and found out, it was too late. I'd already been attacked. I'd already been touched. So I had to go through a big process of being healed, being cleansed. I actually even went to a church and actually had myself exorcismed because I weren't sure if he was in me, because he did take me over in the house at one point. So I had to go through a very long process, and I nearly died through doing it as well. So
of course,
got to be careful, guys.
You have to be very careful. Of course, it's different now. When you cast out a demon, they basically just go out your door and they go and look for some other victim. But it's different with a twisted soul, isn't it?
Yeah, you can cross them over.
Because as soon as you manage them, they get sent. They get sent somewhere.
Yeah, you can send them over.
To be honest, and I will say this, completely, I would rather deal with a demonic spirit than a twisted human. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason is because a twisted soul, a twisted human, has the tendencies of a demonic spirit, but has the human traits still. So it's very quick to change its direction. With a demonic spirit, it's got one thing in mind and one pattern. Okay. And you can normally tell what they're going to do. Where with a twisted soul or a twisted human, they can change things at last minute. They can get you very unexpected. You know what I mean? So they're very tricky energies to get rid of. You've got to be really on.
And most of them are
on-
evil, like the person they were in life. Most of them are that evil person that'll torture you,
There's a lot.
do things to you.
There's
So
a lot that you have to do to get them to go over. You have to kind of like work with them. You have to try to get them to understand that, you know, the way that they are and the way that that act isn't how it should be, and that they need, you know, they need to let go of that energy. They need to forget about what happened to them and move forward. You have to do a lot of work with them before they will actually physically go. And when you cross them and you take them over, it's one of the biggest fights you'll ever see, because they don't want to.
Usually, see the one that Amy Allen tells you on, what's the program Amy Allen's on? I can't remember, but she tells you have to do that. Yeah, the death files. You have to do the things she tells you. Like you have to like have your black salt in place. You have to like have like, maybe 2 or 3 mediums come in and talk to the spirit. It takes a lot, you know, really, really a lot.
Okay, Ian, thank you for coming in. Yeah, no, like,
and you need to counsel them.
There's a lot of work to sorting spirits out. Like, a lot of people think that you just start speaking to them and that's it, you know, they'll go. No, you've got to cancel them. You've got to make them understand what's happening. See, what you've got to remember is all these energies are different, and all these energies don't understand what's happened to them or why they're the way that they are. So you do have to work with them to make them see what's going on. So the process of getting a spirit ready to cross is a long one. And we all know that by crossing normal spirit, that takes long enough. Just crossing a human spirit that, you know, that's a bit lost and a bit trapped, you know what I mean? That takes long enough. So imagine
I've still got 4 here that won't go. I've got 4 that hangs around here that just won't go. They're not ready
twisted
yet.
Souls and twisted humans are normally that they're holding on to something. They're holding on to anger and pain. They're holding on to something they really want, and you've got to remove that from them and make them not want that anymore. And that's a long process. That's a long process and a dangerous one sometimes.
You would think that you would want to cross over there, because obviously we've got knowledge of what heaven looks like and stuff like that. But maybe they're sitting back and maybe they've been reading the Bible too much and they think they're going.
Well, that's what's a lot of it is religion. A lot of spirits that don't cross are scared because of what religion teaches them. That if you do this, you do that, you're going to go to hell. You're going to be sinned for this. If you take your life, you're going to hell. If you're doing this, you're doing light. And these spirits are going to be so scared to cross into that light because they're thinking, "Oh my God, like what's going to happen to me?" Other reasons as well. Memories of loved ones, not wanting to leave loved ones. If they were they died unexpectedly, they're not going to want to go, are they? Because they're not going to quite understand that. They might not realize they're dead. There's so many different reasons to why they're here.
Some are just lonely as well, and they enjoy you talking to them and hearing their story.
You know,
most of them are like that.
Some of them just don't want to go because they're like, I haven't been heard. I haven't said what happened to me. I haven't explained what's happened to me. And that's all it takes. Is sometimes you don't even have to cross them. You just sit there, listen to them, talk to them, and zap, they're gone.
They're gone.
They're gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
the one I laughed at was the one I had a couple of weeks ago that wanted to hear the bagpipes again. I thought that was just amazing.
And they do. A lot of them do that. Like you'll notice, like if you are somebody that's in the paranormal field and you're getting into crossing spirits and stuff like that, you'll hear that a lot of them they'll come over your spirit boxes and stuff asking for
tell you what
they like, certain drinks they like, what music they like, like just telling their stories. That they want all of that before they cross over. They want a last, like I guess it's kind of like your last meal. Their last meal, their last time they're here, like that way.
Last wish, isn't it? I don't put it on YouTube, guys, because I feel it really is personal. Some of the stuff I do share to do with the crossings if I feel it's to do with me, but a lot of the stuff that's other spirits coming in that's maybe not related to me, I tend to not share that because I feel as if it's a really private thing.
I do a lot of mine privately as well.
Yes.
I only ever showed like 2 of my crossings over on here, and that was the first one because it was an educational one as well. And then I'd done the one where I crossed my nan and my granddad. There were other energies, but they gave permission to be able to do that. I didn't just go and do it. I asked them first. If they'd have said no,
Billy came in and Sherry's granddad, remember?
Granddad after.
Came in at the same time. That was amazing, wasn't it? That night we done the spirit box and both of them came through. You can
Yeah.
hear them talking to each other as well. Like my guide was talking to Sherry's grandfather, and it was
Yeah.
amazing to sit and hear. You know.
See, that is amazing. That intrigues
Yeah.
me. The afterlife just totally intrigues me. I'm looking forward to waking up with a beautiful blonde, my hair all flowing again. You know? I'm going to have to go all the way
Stephen
back to
Watt.
I've been bald for a while. I'm going to have to go back to him like 10 or something like that. So if a 10-year-old turns up at your house and starts haunting you, it's probably me.
Oh, that'll be Christopher.
The one that- the thing is, guys, like all I can really give you advice on is if you are thinking of like coming into spirituality or you're thinking of coming into the paranormal field, do your research and learn about the different energies, learn about the different sorts of hauntings, how you can protect yourself. All of these things are really important.
Yeah.
Protection is key and number one. Don't go out.
Well, won't
Yeah, I'm just using my mystical loving mic
doing
because she'll make a
investigations about
beautiful
protection
blonde.
and learning. Number two,
and have fun as
find
well,
yourself
guys. It's an
and
amazing
understand
journey.
yourself. Watch
It's
other
an
people.
amazing
Watch other
journey.
people. You can learn from a lot of people on here as well.
Yeah.
Like, don't just go running into it and thinking I've got to do everything first minute. No.
And don't
Research
think
and
you have
learn.
to have every tool. Please
No,
don't
you
think
don't.
you have to have every single
don't
spirit
need to.
box and
You're better
things.
with a wonder.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's better with a wand.
yeah.
Preferably, they need to know how to use the wand, Chris. Okay.
Aye, see, that's the thing.
Christopher,
That's the
a
thing when
little
it comes
bit
in.
advanced.
Yeah.
It comes into Drew and it comes into you. How to use the ones. Do you know something? See, when you get your ones, you should do a video on how to use your
I
ones.
will. Yeah, I do.
Because that's actually a thing. But before we Adobe song, before we end the show, Sherry, where can we find you all? I've already put your link in the chat for your channel, but is there anywhere else?
You can get me on PWI Spiritual Investigators on YouTube. You can also get me on
You're TikTok and
PWI Otherworldly Investigations, which is to do with my UFOs and stuff like that. That's also on YouTube. You can get me under Sherry Brett on Facebook. Like I said, I am opening a business as well, which is going to be Willow's Witchy Wonders. That's going to be coming in the next couple of months, so you'll be able to like come over there and look at things that I'm making at as well, guys. So just keep an eye out for me on Facebook and on YouTube. They're my main platforms. I'm on Twitter as well under Sherry Brett, so any of them places.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And if you have any questions about the magical world of Wicca, please contact my co-host Drew or contact Sherry. Go to their lives and they will help you, you know. And if you want to buy anything from them, please go to Drew's shop, check it out. You could get some strange lotions, you know. You could you get a lotion that you could put on your husband that turns him into a different husband or something.
You're very welcome. Yeah,
Well,
no. At the minute, I'm not open. But when I am open, I will notify you all. Go to Sister Drew at the minute because Sister Drew is open. But once I'm up and
Yeah,
running,
I've got all
you
my
guys will
stock
be
in,
able to
guys.
come to me as well. So yeah, but come to me for advice at any time.
Yeah.
I'm an open book.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed the show tonight. Please tune in to Bald and Bonkers, where we'll be talking about UFO stuff tomorrow night. Are any of you guys live tomorrow?
I may go live tomorrow night on location. It just depends on how dry we get it in Scotland. It is pouring right now, but I'll be live at Lovers Lane tomorrow night if it stays dry, guys.
Lovers
I'm
Lane.
live tomorrow. I'm definitely live tomorrow night because I've got some new bits for
Well, we'll work it out the time.
spirits.
Yeah, we'll work the time out so that we can
really got to show that I've got some new things that are going to be really good for communication and that, guys. So please come and watch me tomorrow.
Yeah, and Sister Sherry and I will work out time so you don't miss either of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please go and subscribe to the channels because if you don't, I'm going to end up in a jar.
Or they'll end up in a jar.
Yes. You'll end up in a jar as well.
Come to us. You'll just go to the jar so you get rid of that wand.
That's I'll talk to you behind the scenes. Catch you later, everybody.
Love you all. Love the night, guys. Bless be. Merry party.
Thank you for joining us on this exciting adventure with Ghost Squad Scotland. Our team of experienced ghost hunters use the latest technology to explore the paranormal and uncover the truth about the unknown. Don't forget that we're affiliated with Spirit Shack, the UK's premier ghost hunting equipment store, so you can trust our equipment to be top-notch. Plus, we have exclusive Ghost Squad Scotland merch available on our Zazzle store, so you can show your support for the team in style. And if you can't get enough of our ghost hunting adventures, be sure to tune into the Bald and Bonkers TV network to catch our show in action. Content creators can even have their own content syndicated on the network, or create their own custom online TV channel by visiting baldandbonkers.net. Thank you for your support. And remember to always keep an open mind as we continue to explore the mysteries of the paranormal with Ghost Squad Scotland.